Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. Get your space booties on because we are headed to space. We're covering Apollo 13 from 95. That's directed by Ron Howard. We then have Contact from 97, directed by Robert Zemeckis. Then The Martian, directed by Ridley Scott from 2015. And now in theaters, newly released Project Hail Mary. And that is dual directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. So let's get Vincent Daly in the room, hear what he's got to say about these films. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
Thomas, how's it going?
It's going okay for me. How was your week of movies?
A week was good. I mean, I feel like I maybe came out a bit lower across the board than I expected, considering like I like sci-fi. I like, these kind of like the theme of it this week being hard science sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was kind of looking at the scores. I was like, I don't know.
I was thinking about this genre. Obviously, it is sci-fi and it's space, but it is a subgenre too. Because a lot of these, they're spaceship or space capsule films.
Yes.
Almost all of them. Contact, you're outside a lot more.
Yeah.
Doing things, but it is a spacecraft, space module type film.
Yeah.
Bottle type
episode.
films. And that's a subgenre of sci-fi. You can go in a lot of different directions to sci-fi and not really have what a lot of these films have to do with.
Yeah, I think we definitely dip a toe into survival as well.
I think that's why, I like these films.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think I was definitely appreciating the aspects of, like, I like problem solving in any kind of script. So that's really to a T, or at least what I think is, like, the best part of a survival film. So
these films, what exactly what have you seen before?
Everything but Apollo 13. I've seen Contact going way, way back. I'm surprised. Have you seen Contact before? I know you said
years ago on TV.
Oh, okay. I was actually trying to think. I thought we saw Contact in our astronomy class.
No.
Okay.
So, basically, I mean, I saw it so long ago, I don't know much about it at all. I remember some scenes. It's the one I didn't watch this week. But I watched Apollo 13, The Martian, and Project Hail Mary. I rented it, tried to watch it, fell asleep, turned it back on, fell asleep. The rental ran out. I then re-rented it, fell asleep.
It's so rough.
And then I went back to it, and then my 48 hours was already up when I was ready to go for it. But I will say I was waking up here, there, tossing and turning at one of those three. And just
enough to grab some plot points
for like 15 seconds and be like, I don't know if I like this movie. And I literally said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to rent it a third time. I'm not interested in it, but I'm going to wait to hear your review on it. Before I go for the other $3.99.
Yeah, for real.
To the win for the birds.
But Martian obviously rated, Contact rated. But
I was shocked when it was rated. I didn't know.
The Martian?
No, Contact. I started putting it on the site, like an idiot, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Why are some of these names on the database?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's on there already."
Yeah.
So that surprised me, but I knew you hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long, long time. But I was excited to like kind of revisit these movies, especially The Martian, because I mean, The Martian is just like I have feelings on it. I definitely needed a rewatch to state those feelings again. I needed to feel them again.
How many times was the last time you saw it in theaters? Or have you watched it?
One and done.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I think this was like my fourth watch.
Really? You wanted to give it a chance.
Sometimes it's like It sometimes it's just such an easy watch.
Okay.
Because there's no substance to it, basically. It's like, why have I watched Unfrosted so much when I don't even...
Wait.
Or Seinfeld.
I didn't know you watched
I brought it up
Unfrosted.
on the podcast before.
No.
That was my fall asleep movie, and I watched it a bunch. Don't like the film. Watched it a bunch.
Sure, watched it a bunch.
That was The Martian. That's The Martian. I did watch it, though, this week.
Yeah.
As well, especially just for the Andy Weir. I wanted to be as fresh as possible with The Martian.
Yeah. I think it was in a tough spot because I definitely remembered and picked the scab almost on everything that I had a problem with the film.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm coming from a position that the things that irked me don't irk me as much just doing the podcast. You know, this is going now 10 years ago I saw it. And on top of that, just a lot more respect for Andy Weir's writing of just like lightning in a bottle of like these type of ideas that he's coming up with for the scientific premise to these hard science stories. So
Okay.
but
I'm excited to delve into this. Where we agree, where we don't agree.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect, honestly. And then you watch Apollo 13, which I think I said last week it's on Netflix. It's not on Netflix anymore.
Oh, okay.
It was at one point, but I mean, I think I rented this on Amazon, assuming that's what you did too.
Yeah, I think so.
So, but 95, Apollo 13, we're now in peak Hanks film.
Peak Hanks.
Which, as we discussed and went through, we covered more Hanks than we thought, but not good Hanks. We're light on good Hanks.
Yeah. We need the heavy hitter Hanks.
I really enjoyed it, though. Really enjoyed this week. Let's, any opening notes, any alternative titles for you?
You know, I was trying to brew on an alternative title. I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't have it in me.
Well, let's do it. Let's jump back with director Ron Howard. This is Apollo 13, 95. Huge actors, huge 90s actors in this.
Yes. Yeah. Cast-wise, something else. Even like an Ed Harris jump scare. Like, Ed Harris shows
Fantastic.
up. What's the guy's name? Something Krantz. He's pretty famous in NASA. Gene Krantz.
Yeah.
Shows up, and I'm just like, wait, what? Ed Harris is in this?
I thought you knew that. Man, you knew nothing about this film.
Yeah, but it was just so shocking. You're just like, he shows up, and the first scene is him unveiling, I guess, what is the tradition of his wife knitting him a vest for every launch at NASA, which was just like, it went totally unexplained, and then he's just like, oh, he's in the story. Okay. He's just smiling at the camera.
Ed Harris in this film. This is where I broke my Ed Harris.
Stop, don't say it. Don't say it.
No, but this is
too
like
much room.
one of the first films I've seen Saul with
Really?
Ed Harris. And I was like, I think I really like this actor.
Yeah, right.
Been on the rights ever since. Okay, 95, Apollo 13. You set it up real quick, and we will absolutely take this one back and forth. Very excited that you watched this for the first time.
Okay, well, don't get too excited. We finally get some time with Ron Howard as a director, and this really might be the most Ron Howard-ass film you could ever ask for. I mean, really next to, like, Da Vinci Code or something like that.
Thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like, it really is just, like...
Peak in many ways.
Yeah. Like, very competent as a director. Not a lot of, like, identifiable style. He's almost like a plug-and-play wherever you need him, you know?
Oh, I don't know if I would say that.
Okay.
I think he has Ron Howard-isms. I just put him as, like, a B-tier Spielberg.
Sure,
Like,
wannabe.
This is a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, this is definitely a Spielberg-ass movie.
It kind of want to be, but the thing is, I have respect for Ron Howard because he works a ton. If you look at his filmography, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's still to this day. I think he has 3 in proper production or in development right now. It's just that he hasn't been very good for 2 or 2.5 decades.
2.5
Not to be too harsh, but you know what I mean.
No, well, that's why I'm definitely coming very harsh at him. It's just like I feel like he is like I said, plug and play director. You know what I mean? It's not really, I'm not going to Ron Howard for artistic vision.
I know.
Let's just say that.
I just wish it's
like the man can be like very good professionally at his job and technically as a director, but
it's amazing how many of his films come out.
Yeah.
And I think he's come out with at least 2 films.
in the course of the podcast.
Yeah.
I know the recent one, Eden, we were both kind of scratching our heads of just like, why is this going under the radar? We didn't cover it.
Because I know we didn't cover it.
Yeah.
Well, he did that one too called 13 Lives.
Okay.
That was supposed to get theatrical release and then ended up just going to straight on Amazon. And that was probably some of his best. He didn't do, it's not Drive. Was it Drive something? Or what, Drive Train? What was the one with Chris Hemsworth? Something that had to do with driving.
Drive Train.
Not Drive Train, but like something with that.
I don't know.
He did a Chris Hemsworth film. I think that was 2011.
Uh-huh.
Everybody says that's his best last film.
Oh,
This
okay.
13 Lives one, I believe, starring
Rush.
Rush, that's what it was.
I do hear great things about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Viggo Mortensen was in this 13 Lives. Miner move, underwater mine, I think, or it had to go save kids in a mine that collapsed. That one got recognized a little bit, but it also didn't because then they pushed it on Amazon. Anyway, works a ton, and there's been rumblings that he is going to be back soon. Apparently, one of these projects that he has going on is a bit of a winner.
Sure.
But we'll see.
I mean, listen, I'll root for the guy. I just think here we get plenty of Oscar nominations around this one. Granted, it only wins editing sound at that years of Oscars. But this film's kind of Oscar baitness to it was pretty clear. Unfortunately, it kind of became a stink on the movie for me. I didn't really... I feel like it got in the way of things that I could have enjoyed with this movie a little bit. And listen, there's plenty of authenticity behind this film's production that is worthy of praise, including having a lot of the actual astronauts as technical advisors on the set, which I think I appreciate a lot. I just found myself unengaged with this one. Really unengaged.
Really?
Yeah. Critically unengaged on this one.
Really?
And I listen,
based on a true story? You couldn't...
I know. I found myself saying, like, I'd rather watch a documentary about this. I don't think I needed the cast. I mean, I
Was it
liked
too soft?
the cast. I liked aspects of, like, seeing how heavy hitter 90s this was.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, but I really was... Again, unengaged is the word. It was just bland to me.
All right, let's get into it because I'm actually not in complete disagreement.
Okay.
When I haven't watched this in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
So approaching it again, I did thought it had more grit to it.
Oh, okay.
So it does have that polish. That's why I said that Spielberg-y type polish to it.
Right.
That softens things.
Yeah.
Well, now you've set the table a little bit, so I won't be as shocked. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Apollo 13 is half a true story drama and half a survival flick in space, which is based on the novel Lost Moon, written by the very astronauts involved. The story dramatizes the Apollo 13 lunar mission from 1970. And spoilers, if you don't know your NASA history, tracks the nightmarish freak scenario that its astronauts have to survive. In the shadow of the colossal Apollo 11 mission, dreams transform into reality as astronaut Jim Lovell aims to follow in historic footsteps. While these missions might have become routine to some degree for NASA, Jim and his team are subject to a fluctuating launch schedule and requirements that shake up who's actually piloting the mission. Lucky 13 seems to haunt the project, however, as when our crew takes off, an oxygen tank explodes only 56 hours into the mission, sending their primitive tin cans swirling towards doom, with determination and ingenuity the only way to get them out of it. Like I said, I was just, unfortunately, a little blah on this movie.
When did that set in for you?
Almost the entire movie.
Really?
I'm not trying to tear this apart.
No.
This is probably one of the few heavy hitters that year at the Oscars. I really respect the cast. I just think it really kind of boils down to not having an interesting artistic spin, an interesting kind of narrative spin to this, and serves just like as a documentary, a docudrama. We've talked about that, in recent weeks. But like this is what I think of when I hear of docudrama, not like American Animals, where there's this like mixed media format.
Right? Yeah.
This is a docudrama in that it's probably can serve as the documentary or a dramatization of it. So. Not bad by any means, in the same direction. Like I was blah. That's certainly not good. That certainly doesn't make me lean towards heavily a recommendation, but I definitely don't I don't think I shit on this movie because I have a lot of respect for the authenticity choices to it. The authentic production choices really made kind of perfect sense of why this was always on my radar.
Right. Yeah.
For Apollo 13.
So real quick, that cast is Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, and Gary Sinise are the main. Well, and then Ed Harris as well.
Yeah,
that's kind of your main crew.
Which is like, let's not understate it. I mean,
that you can't get more unbelievably 90s.
90s meat.
I always forget. Gary Sinise really did have a moment in the 90s.
Yeah.
He had like a 5-6 year stretch.
Yep.
Where he was one of the top guys, kind of in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
And then it's Tom Hanks' wife in the film also plays a pretty big role as well. As just the emotional side of things. So, oh, by the way, Tom Hanks's mother in this film,
Okay.
it's Ron Howard's actual mom.
Oh, wow.
So that's fun.
Nice. Yeah, I always like this.
Oh, and his dad
Cute
plays the priest in it. The priest shows up at some point.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
Ron Howard's dad. So the thing is, I could get into it.
Okay.
Again, I thought it was going to hit a little bit harder,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think that feeling of it not hitting as hard is just times 3 for you. Is what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's hard for me not to be the fact that it was real and actually happened.
Sure.
And you're just watching the process of what it took to get these guys back and
Yep.
all the things that kept on going wrong. What was happening at Mission Command or Houston and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's for me, it was difficult not to get into it, to not be sunk in, especially as we get halfway through and shit starts to hit the fan and people start getting nervous.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when I'm in.
Absolutely. I mean, I will say the story was pretty good about like getting us into space within like a 30-minute mark. You know what I mean? It wasn't drawn out. Where compare this to like something like Damien Chazelle's First Man. There's a lot of dramatization in that early half before we're actually like getting into space.
Yeah.
So I like that this was like quick to the punch.
And then all about surviving. That
yeah.
turns into that survival film.
Exactly. And I'm with you. Like, I think I am fascinated by the story of like them being in like a primitive spacecraft.
Yeah.
And like having to figure things out. There's a lot of fun in the problem solving of tossing things back and forth through NASA. I feel like some of the best scenes of the film come in like, we need to figure out how to do this and fit it in this. You know what I mean? That type of energy was really great. I don't know. There's just something like I felt like it needed better tiebacks to drama. I would have liked things to be maybe a little bit more introspective on Jim Lovell's mindset, where it's just kind of smoothed out. I also, I was gonna save the punch. I think there's a version of this story that you tell it from Ed Harris's character's position, that you tell it exclusively from Houston.
No, that's
and I think that comes out. I don't know, more tense. There's more problems. You know, I don't
know how you don't get more tense than potential and almost certainty death in a space tube for 3 guys. Yeah,
like
it's just
spinning.
like,
and
it's just funny to hear. I don't know, it just wasn't dramatic enough. It's just like, but okay, so. There is a movie in there of Let's Follow the Ed Harris character at Houston. I love being in space, and I like following these 3 guys. Well, one, that's where the action is. I mean, these are the guys that are going through it.
Yeah.
I like seeing them start to crack a little bit, those kinds of things. But nothing is better than practical effects. I love practical effects.
Okay.
We'll talk about it a little bit with Project Hail Mary as well, and we'll talk about it with The Martian, that these in 1995 they do gravity or the lack of gravity so effing well. It's insane.
Just the float you're talking about.
Oh yes, makes it huge because it felt real. It felt like they were in space. You know how this was shot?
No.
So while they were in space, the reason why they look so good, they didn't want to deal with wires, and wires still don't look all that great.
Sure.
And that's why I said we're getting to Martian here, but. They did the thing. They did the plane where they go up, they cut the engines, and do the free fall.
Oh,
that's why
cool.
takes were about, and you had about 45 seconds. Really, is basically what they could do by the time they got set up.
Interesting.
And then they could do action. And they did that dozens of times, up and down, and that's how they filmed all of the actual space capsule shots.
Interesting.
Technically, was kind of zero-ish gravity, which is awesome. Like that's incredible, and I think there was so much care and consideration of what NASA headquarters looked like in Houston. I like this command space module and all the extra stuff. And when they were inside the actual tube, it just looked and felt really good because they were following the real thing, and they had all of the information they needed of what does this thing look like. You know. So design was cool because it was real. I don't know how. I can't be like, man, they came up with some great concept art on this one because it was all just real.
Yeah.
But
I think that's where a lot of the having these astronauts, Lovell specifically, serve as technical advisors on the team, the production team, really pays off.
And that's where a lot of my appreciation is for. I think it is a little bit maybe plain Jane.
Okay.
Which is kind of what you're saying as well. I mean, it just didn't give you something to bite on.
Yeah.
But I will say, but just the accuracy of it and the way they actually made it look, I had so much appreciation for it, had me loving it. And, you know, I mean, just a great pre-9/11, pro-America Rob American
That's
film.
Ron Howard.
I mean,
Ron Howard has been stuck in a crystal pre 9/11.
right, and now where's Ron Howard exactly? It's just like this film would never get made, or if it did, it would be seen by no one, produced by Angel Studios. You know what I mean?
That's not a bad point.
We
This
just
is
can't make
definitely
any,
an Angel Studios.
which
pick.
makes me sad. This was nominated for 9 Oscars.
Yeah.
I think. You know what I mean?
Slow year.
Beautiful. It's just, hey, can I feel good about my country for a little while at least anymore? I know it's 2026, but I don't care. Go America. It was great to see. It was great to see.
Well, I think the best part about this, in my opinion, is, and really like any survival film, again, is like the problem-solving piece of it.
Yeah.
And I think that problem-solving piece, something will, if you will, orbit around this week. There are really some nice beats of tension to keep the stakes high, even when Lovell's team kind of settles in on the plan to get them back. There are just constant challenges that they have to tackle, which I think is great. My favorite scenes in this are when, NASA is workshopping solutions back on Earth with the supplies they have on board. I mean, these moments felt like they had the perfect mix of accuracy and energy on screen, which I think both of our Andy Weir movies this week will try to copy in some way. That and specifically the energy of the scenes of like NASA trying to help whatever shit show is going on in space.
Yeah.
They kind of bring it back home with it. So, especially The Martian, less with Project Hail Mary. The survival section of this film, though, also gives us just a handful of super iconic lines. None greater than Houston, we have a problem.
Yep.
Ed Harris, failure is not an option. Actually gets associated with Kranz, that he says that he has to like constantly say like, no, I didn't say that. That's not like a quote attributed to me.
Oh.
Like he has to combat that. So
there's that one at the end where it's like, this is going to be a disaster, and Ed Harris is, what's he say? He's like, I think this is going to be our finest moment.
Yeah.
Type deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. It's so funny, though, that you said the patriotic spin to it, because it really is.
This is such a good American movie. Are you kidding me? We rock. We're awesome. That's what we do.
That's what we do. I would say real quick over the rapid fire with some of the cast, though. Thoughts on T. Hanks?
It totally makes sense for 1995 for him in this role.
Yes.
This goes to no one else.
I thought
no one else.
He was more charming in the beginning. I mean, I guess maybe kind of a no-duh. He's in the survival sense. Everybody's not going to be cracking jokes. But I thought there was like a weird, I don't know. I guess I really wanted to see more of Lovell. I wanted to see some more introspection out of it. I just don't know if we got that with Tom Hanks. What do you think about Kevin Bacon in this? He's got some schnozzola.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. I think he might. I don't know if he's the weakest. I liked them all. First of all,
okay.
And if Kevin Bacon is supposed to play the heartthrob, messing around, second string guy, we got to bring in.
Yeah.
Thinks he's better than what he actually is. I think he's fine for that role. He does have a little bit of a douchiness to him. Mm-hmm. Like, who else would be good? Who was like Rob Lowe? I could just get a Rob Lowe type character. I can see Rob Lowe stepping in.
No.
Like that.
I think we can put it at like, this is the premier 1995 cast. I mean, there's no other choice.
So I was happy, and then Bill Paxton. Listen, absolutely, Bill Paxton. Right? I didn't mind Bill Paxton.
No, definitely didn't mind. I guess all of these, I wanted more. I wanted, more out of them in some way.
Did you want more emotion range from them?
Yeah, either emotion, introspection, that we at least, if they're not showing it, or even for like the true story aspect of it, they're not like audibly even saying this for like, the audio logs going back to NASA or anything like that. Some degree of psychological battle to the survival stakes, to what they have on the line. You could also tie that back to the drama back at home. I feel like they obviously cut to a lot of scenes of the family looking worried and whatnot, but I don't know. I just like all these.
You weren't
scenes
feeling it.
It was so flat. It was so flat. Frustratingly flat.
Wow. All right. I wasn't that frustrated with it. I could see how you got there. It's tame. It is tame.
Yeah, it's tame. It's throwaway.
Also, they're trying to be as. I don't think it's throwaway. I think they're trying to be as true to nature as they possibly can with still making a film. Like, these are astronauts, so they're not supposed to lose their cool. And even when they start, even when they start to, and Tom Hanks tries to break up the fight a little bit from those two. I mean, I mean, the funniest part of the movie is when Tom Hanks is raising his voice. He's starting to get a little fired up. And then he's just like, is that calm on? No. And it's like, yeah, Houston, we got you. Like, he's very calm all of a sudden.
He goes
like, okay,
back
Houston,
to
we got you.
the operations.
Right. I mean, and they're astronauts. They're
no,
pros.
Listen, I think that's a great point, and that's where I say more so kind of like an internal drama versus like a big Oscar, scene blow up.
You're right.
Like
you're
that.
right. That we could have had some more quiet moments.
Yeah, something
individually
to build depth a little bit more.
Yeah,
so
we get small glimpses of it, but you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to actually cut one of my lines here because I feel like it's going to cut too deep on your end.
It won't cut deep. I'm not unbelievably attached to this film. I just have a lot of heart for this film, but go ahead.
I just barely felt anything watching this.
Okay, that's
which
all
I
right.
might have already said already.
You said it, yeah. The overarching theme to your review. I understand.
I mean, I understand that this is a beloved film, and for me,
Is it anymore?
No, I think it is. I think it is.
I can't tell you the last time anyone has brought this film up to me ever. Well,
right.
Or in recent, I would say
where
the past 10
does
years.
this actually exist in like film discourse? I don't know. I think that's a good point.
I think The Martian kind of bumped it, honestly.
Yeah, because the same survival.
Or
space.
you know what? It was probably Interstellar.
Maybe.
Interstellar was Nolan's like, it's the 21st century. This is how we're doing space movies.
Yeah.
This was the 90s space film.
Yeah, true. And also just real space, again, as far as like the backbone of this episode of just like trying real science, hard science,
Were you thinking that at all? It was just like, man, this looks good. The gravity looks good. The ship looks good. The space shots look good.
I suppose. No. That's a good point. Because I was definitely taking notice of like set design of what they were doing inside this, again, tin can.
Yeah, it's very much on the mind.
Exactly.
Because all this you're looking at the set piece.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah. My eyes were wandering there because I don't think there was a lot on the meat on the bones performances, but for me, I think like where it bounced off is just again the kind of the schmaltz here, the blandness, the milquetoast,
Ron Howardness,
the Ron Howard. Thank you. I think on the positive end, again, there's not too low this can go as far as being a negative. I think it's a real by the books movie, and that ties into its strengths as a docudrama. That's just like on paper, I don't know how much I am walking away recommending it for that same reason.
Okay.
So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and give Apollo 13, 1995, a 55.
Holy shit. Oh, my God.
Sorry, Tom. Sorry, both Toms.
All right.
actually.
So Forrest Gump,
Sorry.
47. Apollo 13, 55. I'm picking up a pattern here.
I think, yeah, there's something that
Something's
bounces
brewing.
off of me.
That's not true. You like Green Mile.
Yeah, Green Mile, Philadelphia. Is Philadelphia 90s or 80s?
High 80s. Yeah, it's high 80s, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Oh, or is it 90s? It's
No,
high.
I mean like decade.
Oh, 93.
Yes.
Yeah, 93.
Yeah.
Okay, so Apollo. Wow. All right. Okay,
Listen,
that's all right. I mean, I didn't plan on giving it his shoes. Now
you might
it's like,
have
do
to.
I have to counterbalance
You
it?
have to counterbalance it.
I won't. It's 55%. Okay.
You get where I'm coming from of just like nothing bad enough to
You made
sink
your
it.
case.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nothing bad enough to actually call it a bad movie. It's just kind of like I'm also not feeling a recommendation like really like, oh, you got to watch Apollo 13.
It's funny because I think a lot of what you could say, I could just repeat the transcript if I had it in front of me of what you just said. It's a lot how I feel about The Martian.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'm saving I'm
saving
waiting
your
to
ammo.
unload on The Martian.
That's great.
The movie that doesn't do anti-gravity well at all.
I'm interested. Okay, so I'll just lay it on the line. I was not picking up on production notes of like when we were doing wire work or not.
That's all I think about.
Interesting.
Oh, Project Hail Mary.
I kind of like that as a critical eye.
I want it to feel in space. I want you to be in space. I want you to be in space. Make it look like The Martian. Who's the main chick in The Martian? The captain.
Oh,
she looks ridiculous. It's like how 20 years prior in Apollo 13
Interesting.
did they get anti-gravity so well on film?
I watched so many sci-fi
And the answer
movies.
is Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Being like, yeah, it's good enough. I have three more. I got three more movies I got to shoot.
So true. But also no excuse because it's Ridley Scott and he figured it out in '79. You know, what I mean?
And they figured it out in '95. So. Yeah. It's just space. We've seen unbelievable.
Interesting.
We've seen unbelievable space capture.
Zero G.
Let's jump to 1997.
The one he fell asleep to 4 times and counting.
I have interest in it. It's
you should be interested. You know why you should be interested.
I don't, but we're gonna find out then.
You're damn right.
Okay, Contact, directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, Bobby.
Who I do put in a Ron Howard bin of Vin, I would have to say. I think Vin, if you had a bin...
Vin's bin.
Ron Howard, Robert Zemeckis... There's a few other names I would definitely put in there. Contact. Set up the movie. This is the most unknown one, or the one that's going to be the most murky for people.
To your point about Apollo 13, like, where does this actually fit into modern film discussion? You know what I mean? This is kind of lost to time almost.
And it probably is a shame. Again, I'm excited for you to talk about it. But give us the plot. Give us a rundown of what it is.
Well, we get another sappy one for sure from Bobby Zemeckis in the books. But as you can tell with all the films this week, the real focus here is on the writers of the story rather than the directors. We talk about the directors a lot on the show, but like ultimately determining the spin and the tone of these hard science sci-fis is the core story here. For this film, that comes from a 1985 novel by the same name, written by the man himself, Carl Sagan.
Yes.
I briefly thought of doing the whole review in a bad impression of Carl Sagan, just saying billions and billions, but that went out the window pretty quickly. You know, while writing a book is no big deal for any astronomer, this was his one and only fictional story. And quickly you can tell how Sagan infuses both realism and high concept, his type of wild imagination, into this that makes for an experience undeniably his own. Now, I'll say it right away, my beef with this movie is a little bit in tone, but a lot in dialogue. This is like kind of, this movie shoots itself in the foot for how sappy it is. Some of that I'm sure comes from our director. Some of that I'm sure comes from like the era of 97 and what a sci-fi film in 97 looks like, or a science-driven film in 97 looks like. I haven't read Contact, so I don't know if it ties all the way back to Sagan.
Well, not to mention, so Sagan, obviously, it's based off the novel, and then he also did the story for the film.
Yep.
He was not on the screenplay, so that was two other guys that worked on the actual screenplay.
Right.
So who knows how they tweaked it to make it film appropriate.
Exactly.
Now, Carl Sagan was on set, I believe, a lot.
Yes.
You know, the big thing is, of course, that he passed away before the film came out.
Yep. He served as like another technical advisor, like we mentioned with the previous film. Unfortunately, died before it was finished, so he couldn't see it himself.
Yeah.
So, rest in peace, Carl.
Yeah, he's our guy. He's our guy.
Absolutely. He should be everyone's guy. I mean, this is like a Mr. Rogers where like
that is. Yeah,
I rue the day if like he gets canceled or something weird comes out. Yeah, it would be terrible.
No bad vibes with him.
Yeah, exactly. Contact is a scientific drama set in the scientific community, and as much as it concerns itself with kind of these big existential questions in the plot, it also deals with smaller tensions that feel real to the professional setting. Jodie Foster plays Ellie Arroway. Once a young girl interested in tinkering with radios, she grows up to be a scientist within SETI research, the admirable but underfunded search for extraterrestrial life. Ellie's dream is equal parts scientifically fringe. Needing so much self-assurance, it might as well be mysticism at certain points. Something that becomes more complicated as relationships within the story force her to confront ultimate questions about the universe. This movie really likes throwing these like big thinking questions, which again I think is just like so true to Carl Sagan.
Yeah, it's heady.
Yeah. At the same time, it's also like a fun, cutie romance, and it's like the dialogue drives me up a wall. So, a little bit column A, column B. The circumstances to this research, though, drastically transforms beyond her wildest dreams. However, when her team intercepts the message from Vega, a transmission from 26 light years away, containing mysteries that much of humanity is not ready to hear. Personally, I love the intro to this film. I did want you to watch this one just because of some of the visual storytelling, some of the directing from Zemeckis. The very intro is in total silence, and we hear kind of a cacophony of radio signals and whatnot.
I hated it.
Oh, you hated it? I thought it was great. I mean, yes, grating, it's like annoying.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
But like, it's great because it shows you through visual storytelling how radio frequencies work. We pull out further.
No, it's great. But just like, why did he have to go with that one song? Why did he have to do the one? It is totally grating. It was terrible.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Concept cool. The idea was cool. You're right.
Yeah. I liked it quite a bit.
I mean, I watched it 3 times. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there's something there.
It surprised me all 3. I forgot about it, too. Because I turned it up.
Yeah,
I'm ready to
you're
go.
like, what's going on
It's a bit
here?
of a jump scare. I'm not going to lie.
Even like the studios are it's totally silent before it. I do think throughout the film, though, we get a fair amount of just like really slick directing moments, either through camera work, editing transitions, or just like overall direction from Zemeckis. One great example where Zemeckis is killing it is a simple flashback that we get about 20 minutes in. The scene is Ellie running in a panic towards the camera, which tracks backwards in slow motion, upstairs no less, and then blends seamlessly with a bathroom mirror. I mean, it's really impressive how they pulled it off.
Okay, Bobby.
Yeah, Zemeckis always the one to innovate for
He
better
does
or
try,
worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's always trying.
Yeah, he's always trying. Unfortunately, though, I think what brought this movie down for me both time watching this was the writing. I haven't, like I said, read Sagan's book, so I'm unsure where the beef sits with the adaptation or not, but it's pretty rough at times. I feel like this movie, as heady as it is and as cerebral as it is, could easily, in a different hands, different adaptation, different spin to this writing, be really high up there for me because I feel like it's a fascinating concept that he uncovers. It's a pretty rough script. The romance subplot with Matthew McConaughey is a big eye roll for me. It is very, very, very cheesy, which unfortunately McConaughey is burdened story-wise with the headiest concepts to be saddled off of him.
Mm-hmm.
He plays like a kind of a wanderer, was a missionary, doing some like press work. Then later on in the story, he becomes like a philosophical leader of like mixed science and religion. Great. Not McConaughey. Certainly not 97 McConaughey. Let's just be real here. I mean, this is before the McConaughey Renaissance.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure,
this is before he's speaking philosophy in True Detective. I don't think he's got it.
In fact, this is like even. He's just about to get started with the rom-com stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is phase 2 of his career.
This is
I guess
pre-Sahara,
right? Pre-Sahara
or failure to launch, or yeah, it's just really rough. It bounces off of him. He's also like the romance itself is not a strong suit of this. It feels like quick and like hot and heavy out of nowhere.
Could you totally cut it? It's 2.5 hours long, this movie.
Yeah, almost. See, I like McConaughey's character of just like how he like the questions he has to add pressure to the scenario of just like what role does religion play with these like grand questions.
Him and Jodie Foster should hate each other.
Right. Man, it's just really rough. The first half also attempts a very plucky tone that is a total ripoff of Twisters coming out the year before. I mean, down to all the scientists having like Hawaiian shirts and their wacky characters, and they're like eating while they're like giving briefings. It's just like, oh my god, all right, could you try more to be Twisters, or Twister, I should say. It is unreal, and I really do have a similar problem with our next film where. The Martian, that is, where the opposition and antagonist is always some just like corporate idiot getting in the way, which to me feels impossibly weak. This is not a good antagonist in these movies, and I feel like that's where, like, even at the beginning of the episode, I was kind of like, It is just like, it feels like it always boils down to, and we have one hard ass in NASA that won't let us do what we want to do. That's not a good villain. That's not good conflict. That doesn't add stakes. Totally the same case here of just like, oh, well, we just got to create some friction. Otherwise, it's just like, all right, you get your funding and you go on. I get there has to be some conflict, but it's such a weak way to write conflict in these stories. All these areas are where the dialogue is unfortunately spotlit as cliche and in big, bold letters. That word really, unfortunately, has enough sway to overpower some of the highlights of this movie for me, and really always has. I think otherwise it'd be very, very hot on it. What I'll say is kind of a wrap up to Contact is one of the biggest highlights I do have for it, and that's Jodie Foster. I think Jodie Foster is beyond perfect for this role.
Okay.
She succeeds in every way she does in 1991's must-watch Silence of the Lambs. This is a character that is a strong female character up against an institution, up against a society, a woman versus society aspect. And it doesn't come off cringy. I find it super interesting that Foster is able to pull off of these type of roles where that conflict, it's woman versus society, without it feeling half as bad as modern day woke stuff or what we would call woke stuff. I don't know what I was really watching this and saying, like, what is the balancing act she pulls off specifically that it doesn't feel like
because
that?
there's no, that's the big thing with the whole anti-woke in films, or before we called social justice warrior stuff in movies. The thing is that I don't think, and I'm somebody that's sensitive to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, don't shove your whatever the director is. Keep me in the film. I don't want your outside crap trying to influence me. Stop it.
Like The Bride.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So it's because the role and the character and the writing is actually makes sense for the person.
Yep.
Where it gets really bad and cringy is when studios say, well, we got to have more female leads, so let's go for it. Or, hey, we need to have a female John Wick, I guess. Or should we make James Bond a girl? It's just like, why don't you write a character that's actually meant for a female, and then a really good female could play the role?
Yep.
That's the thing. There should be really strong female leads and then really strong male leads.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean the characters have to look identical. What's been happening since like post 2010 is, let's take the same exact character type, and then we can plug whatever woman we want into it.
True.
And then we'll sell it, and then we'll look good, and we can slap ourselves on the back with how progressive we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, it's just like, have better writers making great movies for like Frances McDormand.
Oh,
and
right.
such.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or Jodie Foster.
Right. So it was always
think,
around. Look at Aliens. I mean, Sigourney Weaver would probably be the only other person you could plug and play for this.
Yeah.
If Jodie Foster's not in it.
Yeah.
That's just roles exist. But just today, the way they frame it from the get-go of what do we want to do for this film, or we need film X on our spreadsheet. So let's do that now.
Yeah.
Someone cared about this. This is Carl Sagan's book.
Oh, right.
With Carl Sagan working the material.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that this is a phenomenal female lead.
Yeah, and I'm coming to the same conclusion of just like the balancing act is somewhere in between character design, you know, writing from the ground up what the role is, and then good casting in that role.
Yeah.
You know, that's the two sides of the coin.
Just be realistic.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Foster goes, I mean, her determination in the performance just never comes off as an eye roll. And I personally always loved how her character specifically is clamped between these big questions that Sagan's mind can cook up, like the biggest questions he can cook up. And she handles that in the same way as it's yet another type of adversity that this character is up against. It's very interesting. In my mind, I think those big existential questions have always bookmarked this movie as, if you will, the smarter version of something like Stargate. But looking at the website, it seems like Stargate, I might just like it a little bit more. I don't know. We're not going to go back to Stargate. That's literally episode 1 of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and give Contact 1997. The old score was a 67. It's still a 67.
A 67%. All right, very good.
Complicated. But
okay, that's good. But
real big highs, real big lows.
And there's enough juice there where it's worth a watch, especially if you're into the sci-fi film stuff.
I think a dream. I've talked about like sometimes off the cuff of like dream projects that I would direct. A dream project would be adapting Contact again.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us?
Do Carl Sagan right?
So we know what to expect here on this one. Where percentage of the film off Earth?
Ooh, spoilery. Very little though.
Okay. See, that's what I was picking up on as I was waking up throughout the film.
Yeah, you probably woke up in the last 30 minutes and been like, what am I watching?
Those are some of the scenes, though, I think I remember from it.
Yeah,
a few
true.
scenes I remember.
Absolutely.
Okay, so 67% for Contact. Did you rent that? Where'd you get that?
No, I think it was all Amazon this week.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump to 2015. The book was by Andy Weir, called The Martian. Drew Goddard, I believe, was the one that wrote the screenplay, which is important because he also helped the screenplay, or wrote the screenplay on Project Hail Mary.
Yes, good catch.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Goddard likes adapting Andy Weir's novels. The director is Ridley Scott, and we got a whole lot of Matt Damon with some supporting cast in here. Set up The Martian. I'm sure everybody kind of knows the deal with The Martian, but
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts, because this is I did not know you watched this 4 times.
It's just one of those things
over the years.
I mean, it's 11 years old now.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
you know,
it's pretty old.
Go for it. Martian, set it up. Tell us about it. 2 hours and 24 minutes. That's the one thing. If you're in space, the movie has to be over 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's a great point.
I think that's what I was trying to brew on.
It's
written somewhere in law, I think.
Yeah, the space epic must be over 2 hours. That's what I was trying to brew on for like alternate titles this week, around something around the runtime with all of these, but
They're epic. Let's see how epic The Martian is. We'll take it back and forth.
As an introduction to our author for this new release this week, Andy Weir released his first major hit novel in 2011 with The Martian, a work of hard science fiction that skyrocketed him into success. Credit where it's due, his style of science fiction writing gave me the idea for this week's episode, and focusing on the science first revealed in kind of plenty of movie choices with similar approaches, even though before they were like called like hard science or sci-fi. Unfortunately, my thoughts on this film are much more dominated by our director of the project, Ridley Scott. His trademark cynicism making his films is something that we've discussed plenty of times on the podcast now. Overall, I would say I'm pretty against the grain on this one, as both critics and audiences alike really adore this movie.
Yeah, people love this movie.
Yeah, I think we're both against the grain with it, but I think in the mid-2010s, I saw the writing on the wall for Ridley becoming sloppier in what projects he chooses and cynical in what projects he chooses. Mostly that's shown in just him being the flat-out wrong choice for this adaptation. Not necessarily an issue with the adaptation itself, and stumbling with the kitschy dialogue that is key to her author's style. The elevator pitch for The Martian is pretty sharp, though, I'll admit. Castaway in space makes for a pretty good concept, and what bigger desert island is there than Mars to amp up the stakes? In the story, we follow Matt Damon playing Mark Watney, a biologist and astronaut part of a near-future mission gathering resources from Mars. Almost immediately, however, Watney is left for dead when a freak storm tears through the crew, leaving him stranded in space. His timeline for survival is grim, and gets even worse once we see the friction back on Earth scrambling to send him a lifeline. But where NASA might stumble in their response, Mark succeeds in complete mastery of his training, establishing irrigation, farming, and quickly becoming the first man to settle Mars. Things might be going good according to the plan, but many factors will be completely out of his control. In the face of overwhelming odds, Mark is going to have to science the shit out of this if he wants any chance at surviving. I know I had to throw that in there. I added this movie to the week, obvious reasons. But I also knew I really didn't like this movie when I saw it on release, and I know you had hard feelings about it. I didn't know four movies deep.
I don't know if I watched it in theaters, I have to say.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I would like to say that I watched it in theaters. I must have. I must have. Yeah. Because this was this is when us getting into the one big sci-fi of the year.
Yeah.
Like, Gravity in
great
2012. We had Interstellar in 2014.
Yeah.
We had Arrival in there. You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
And that was one of them, and I always tried to make sure I saw the big sci-fi epic of the year.
Yeah. I would say one of the larger pieces here that I want to obviously unpack that's connected to Weir's writing style was my distaste for jokey Marvel dialogue in the story, which, for better or worse, I have kind of grown more numb to since starting the podcast. I want to say this wasn't as bad as I remembered, which can also kind of come from appreciating Weir's writing style a little bit more and just like what he's going for. But that's where I want to kind of throw it to you. Was this as bad as you remember, even however recent the rewatch was?
That's the thing. It's so fresh for me.
Oh, okay.
That I think how I felt about this on watch 1 is largely how I think about it on watch 4. And the reason is just because my initial thoughts never really left, and it was always relatively fresh in my mind. So did I get more used to the film? Yes, but that didn't change my overall liking of it. Now, I do want to point out, because producer Matt D wrote in and said, hey, so Andy Weir obviously has a lot of he can be very jokey in his novels.
Yep.
But he said that it was this screenplay and Matt Damon and Ridley Scott that really tanked the actual material. So I kind of always had my knives out on Weir.
Yeah.
And been like, I don't even have interest in reading these books. I don't like the funny. I don't like this lightheartedness of it. It's something extraordinarily serious. And to me, what a better, more captivating, something I could actually. You said you didn't feel anything with Apollo 13. It's so difficult for me. It's so difficult for me to feel something while watching this
because the stakes are deflated by this dialogue.
You cut it at every instance with the humor, and it's so ridiculous and it's so cheesy that it's like you're building up unbelievably high stakes here, and just everything is
unbelievably high.
Everything is laid out where I should be on the edge of my seat for 80% of the film, and I never am because you're not even taking yourself seriously. So why should I? And the thing with Matt Damon is, who I actually have come to really like Matt Damon, even as a person, I actually think I like Matt Damon, but I don't know his range as an actor. And so often I just see kind of Joe Schmo, a normal guy, Matt Damon, acting.
Yeah.
And I don't see the range.
Some big concern about the Odyssey coming out.
Yes, huge concern. And that's the thing. So when you have Ridley not giving me anything that I'm impressed by visually, I mean, things are cool and it looks nice, but it doesn't look like this. Wow. This is at the hands of a masterful director. I didn't get that. I got more of a blanket, okay, plug and play, here's Ron Howard.
Yeah.
From Ridley. And then with the writing... If it took Weir's writing and made it even worse, and then through the package of Matt Damon, no, my feelings are very much the same over the past 10 years with this.
Interesting.
And it's the product of the film. It wants to be semi-serious, semi-sweet, semi-comedy.
Yeah.
And that doesn't fly with me with a film like this.
Interesting.
I can only like a film so much, and we'll get into Project Hail Mary with that a little bit.
Yeah, I think
this one is failing on too many levels for me, though.
Yeah. I think there's the match of a talent in the director's chair with the adaptation is very important in the dialogue between, Martian and Project Hail Mary. And how you stick the landing. Specifically, how do you stick the comedic landing,
And it's surprising that it's the same screenwriter, Drew Goddard.
Yeah, right,
because
right.
It is
you
the
think
same
that would be
guy.
Also a very important piece, but I think from what I understand, it's pretty close to Weir's original text. It's just not so much of it. It's more about the
that's what Matt D
implementation
was saying.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
It's
how it's being
actually how it comes out.
Yeah.
With Ridley and Matt Damon.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. My arc on this of my thoughts, feelings, so much the same. I still get very frustrated watching it. It's still a space movie that came out 10 years ago, so it still looks good. I like seeing space on film.
Sure.
Those can be fun to watch, but man, would this be awesome if it was taken extraordinarily seriously.
Yeah.
NASA's not serious at all.
Right.
Everything's a joke. And I like a lot of these actors just by themselves or in other projects, but just this film in general, it's hard to like anybody. My girl Kristen Wiig is in it.
Is that your girl? I thought Kate Morrow is going to be your girl.
No, Kate Morrow is great. And Mackenzie Davis. I mean, all these actresses I like in other projects.
Right.
Chiwetel Ejiofor, who I love.
Yep.
It's just, what are we doing? Oh, Seabass, from Marvel. It's just weird how it all comes out in the wash with this material and Ridley at the helm. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. I just, no.
Yeah. I know. It's so interesting, though, that, we talked about, dynamite casting in 95 with Apollo 13. This is dynamite casting, much larger cast, but, this has, every face you could almost imagine.
It's a big cast. I don't know if it's a right cast. Jessica Chastain, miscast, in my opinion.
Right.
Completely.
Okay. I don't want to open more can of worms.
Kate Mara completely. No, Kate Mara was fine.
I mean, well, you can see
Michael
the
Pena,
trajectory
which, don't get me started.
Right time, right place for Penny. Yeah, I mean, well, not to open another can of worms, but what's the beef with the 0G filming? You were spotting wires.
Shit.
You were spotting wires.
I wasn't visibly seeing wires. I was watching Jessica. I was watching Jessica Chastain clearly in a wire harness and clearly dealing with wire.
Straight up, I did not pick this up.
The way Ridley Scott.
At all.
Now, thank God, there's not much of it because they have the ship that has the spinny thing.
Wow.
So all of a sudden you go into gravity.
Yes, right.
But one anti-gravity is shown. Boy, it looks like absolute horseshit. I can't believe that Apollo 13 was 20 years prior, looking like gold compared to this. But I could tell it's we'll do wires, and as long as we can cut them out digitally, we'll make it work. But just I mean, I guess they improved on wire work because Ryan Gosling looks a little bit better. I mean, he's clearly on wire still, but not like Jessica Chastain.
Interesting.
And she was totally not fit for this. Not that she wasn't fit for the role. She wasn't right for the role completely. She is not a commander. She's not a leader. She's not a captain of a ship. I'm not buying it. She is too soft for this completely.
Interesting.
And the ending with her and Damon is ridiculous.
Pretty minimal role. You know what I mean? I know she's like key at a certain point in the story, but like she's basically on ice for so much of the runtime.
I need some sort of grit. I need some sort of grit and realism. And if Matt Damon's just joking around, and then we have
and then NASA's all joking around,
right? Like our most serious person is supposed to be the head of NASA, Jeff Daniels.
Yes, but I hated Jeff Daniels,
and he's
the epitome of what I'm talking about with this corporate baddie that's not a baddie at all.
I know, but it's not that he's a baddie. I don't think he's the bad guy.
It's fabricated opposition. It's the weakest tension you can put into a script.
Right, it's weak tension, and then say, hey, you want to throw in a Lord of the Rings? You've thrown a Lord of the Rings joke with Sean Bean, and I'm going to be excited. But everything is everything kind of sucks. Donald Glover. Yeah. Just stop being so much.
Yeah, he's a lot of this.
So if I can't take it seriously and you're all making jokes out of it, and it's tough, man. It's tough for me to like have a good time with this film when I see such a better, more hardcore, more serious, excellent sci-fi epic in this story. And not to mention, here we are 20 years later after Apollo 13, a great American film. Most Chinese propaganda bullshit story. Hated it when I first saw it. Continued to hate it. I can't believe some of the lines in this. Are so. When China gets involved, some of the lines from the Chi-Coms in this are unbelievable. I'm like, who? Like, what? Andy Weir? I get it. We go open market, open theaters in China. Let's go get those ticket sales up. But I mean,
I don't think that's
make no mistake. There's one hero.
I think that's definitely Ridley Scott.
There's one hero in the movie, and it's the Chinese Communist Party. Make no mistake.
I was even thinking, I mean, we're going into way spoilers, but like, I was even thinking that's the arc of Jeff Daniels' character, that like, there's a certain point that like the budget control opposition. Yeah, he's
cocked.
Easy.
He's cocked by the Chi-Coms.
Right. Out of being a villain.
I mean,
oh, we're so derailed.
And there's so many. We have, by the way, Benedict Wong, if he's like the NASA tech guy, I can see him being a good NASA tech guy. Not in this movie, though.
Oh.
Because you know what it comes down to? The problem solving.
Right.
Listen, there's so much problem solving to be done in this movie.
Yes.
How awesome is that?
Yes.
We have a guy stranded. It's a survival movie.
Absolutely.
It's very serious. It could be amazing. And
high-end stakes.
Here's another thing, too. I understand that Andy Weir, especially in his novels, sometimes actually goes into great detail about things. I understand that with Project Hail Mary. All that detail was so watered down, so dumbed down, and then you have Matt Damon delivering that to us, and just like, I'm just a biologist, but I'm a funny guy. It's just, get into detail, please.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. The problem-solving aspect was such a huge part of the story, and so everything was so watered down.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like Donald Glover, no thank you.
Well, listen, I definitely want to put a pin in Weir's scientific writing getting watered down, specifically that watered down piece.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's a huge discussion point with Project Hail Mary.
Okay, I think it's better. I'll tell you right now, I think it's better on Project Hail Mary than it is here.
Sure, but there's definitely the goal almost is like objectively watering it down.
Okay, all right. Okay,
sure. Man,
I mean, I could keep on going, but I'll just be talking in circles.
I know. I want.
It's not a tangent. It's the movie.
I want to say another thing, but
go. We have to bring it up because here, you know what? Before you came over, I was going to sit down and write quite a long thing for this.
Right.
And I thought it's already going to be a long episode, and I know you have your notes, and whatever you say, I'm just going to work off of.
Yeah.
So what's your other point?
Council of Elrond. Do you think the scene works? Do you think the scene works as a joke?
I mean, for me, it works.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Just because every time I watch that scene, that's not a scene for me. I mean, I like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not like a diehard Lord of the Rings fan.
Should it be in the movie? No.
Okay. That's what I'm after.
If you want to sneak Lord of the Rings in there, it's hard for me not to like it because it's Sean Bean and it's funny and it's a Council of Elrond, it's a fellowship. It's great.
It's a weird meta joke with Sean Bean being in the
I know.
room.
It's also extremely in your face.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so we're really not taking anything seriously
That's
anymore.
where I feel like I land on, especially on this rewatch, I think I land on that not working. I mean, it's funny. It's probably one of the only times that I actually like can get a laugh out of the movie, but like it's just so weird that they put it in with Sean Bean in the room. I cannot get past that.
Well, and that's why they did it. I mean, it's very present. It's ever so much. It's so in your face. But whatever. I mean, again, come on now. You You're giving pancakes to a little kid. I'm going to enjoy it.
You're gonna any Lord of the Rings reference is pancakes. That's fantastic. All right, just to kind of rewind a little bit, I feel like the big issue with me is the nature of Mark leaving these video logs for his own sanity. I feel like it invites the problems to happen in the script. Him doing these audio-video logs, his kitsch, the Marvel spin to it, that's where all the problem happens. Of the two sides of the story, I kind of have issues with both, but at least when we're on Mars, Matt Damon is constantly talking to the camera, explaining his brilliance of surviving on a lifeless planet. This honestly kind of made me want to watch Castaway, of just like, how are scenes actually handled in like solo exposition? How is this actually coming off
really
in
well.
the shot? Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just
but
like,
also
it made me almost want to go to
also a
other
lot
type of
less.
survival. Yeah, because they don't have this excuse of like, filming wise.
Right.
But that's where some of my beef is. It's bad dialogue. It's also lazy directing from Ridley Scott. These scenes are so uninventive. The aspect
You
of
agree
like
you have to have the scenes, though.
I don't know.
He needs to be communicating with NASA. It is the story. It is the book. He needs to be communicating with them.
But that's the crazy thing. These video logs, they go nowhere in the story.
You're right about
They're
that.
trapped on the fucking thing. They're trapped on the settlement. So it's like, what? It's tough because I just think it is a red carpet for all the problems on the Matt Damon side of the story, and that can be restructured in a different way. That can be an internal monologue. That can be psychological. We covered, not a great movie, but 127 Hours. You know what I mean? There are different ways to communicate this in a survival instance.
I think him talking to himself and trying to, like, he could be sitting down and eating his potatoes or whatever like that. Him having to sit down with himself and having those thoughts creep up and panic maybe creep up. Him talking to himself would be definitely better than doing the video logs where he's smiling and everything's like hunky-dory.
Exactly.
I agree, but again, the point, it really seems like hard emotion is not all that important. Don't forget the disconnect with Ridley Scott. I'm saying it's not our fault. He won the Golden Globe for Best Comedy or Musical. And his speech was, they walked up on stage, he held the globe up, went to the microphone, he's like, comedy? Really? Thanks. And then he walked off.
That's
he doesn't know what he has here.
That's amazing.
And I think he thinks it's like...
he thinks it's full survival.
It's just, it's like, dude, it's not Interstellar.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. As far as this solo time with Matt Damon,
sorry, I took you away from
No, it's fine. A little conflicted just because this is where we get the hard science. This is where we get the meat of what this story should be about, the survival aspect as well. Truly, if I wanted to be mean, and as I was a lot meaner pre-podcast, especially back in 2015, this filmmaking is so uninspired. It's like 2+ hours of millennial Snapchat story garbage. Like this is where filmmaking goes to die. You know what I mean? Don't give me the camera position of just like audio logs, video logs. This is not what I want. There are different ways to do this.
And something that's been gnawing at me about the film too is the lack of detail. And this is where obviously detail is so important, but it's detail that sells the world that we're in. And if I got some more detail, it could be tiny plot things. Give me more detail about what the tech is going on, the problem solving, like get into specifics or numbers a little bit more. And then also on top of that, I want to see him living a little bit more in this space.
Okay.
It moves a little bit and glosses over things so much that it really feels like Matt Damon shows up at 9 a.m. And then action is called, and then he leaves for crash services, comes back, and then you wrap the day, and that's it. It doesn't feel lived in. And you look at something like
too glossy.
You look at something like Moon, and we see a lot of that Sam Rockwell just living on that moon space station.
Definitely the mental decay.
And you get a feel, but even his surroundings, I get a feel of that place. I feel like I almost know the layout of the place. I feel like he sells living there.
Yeah.
You just see it on him, and you can see it on the screen. And with this, I think it is that Ridley Scott quickness that he's picked up on, where the detail isn't in the image, and it's not on screen, and it's not given to our actors to do something with, and it's just all over the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes from cynicism that Ridley Scott thinks he knows what he's doing, and in fact, he's lost some of the plot.
Yeah.
We talked about that plenty with Gladiator 2. I think Gladiator 2 is kind of a really good comparison of like what you're saying of like details matter and the details are lost.
Yeah, you're just glossing over too much.
Yeah,
it's all you show up on Tuesday, that'll work, and then you're home.
Exactly. I got some further nitpicks. not to add.
That's all right. Go through them.
Not to add to the pile.
Can I make one more thing? And that's basically my last comment.
Go for it.
I do want to say, after shitting on it for so much, I have watched it 4 times, and just like you said about Apollo 13, it is a space movie. It's difficult for this to be horrible.
Yes.
It does have a floor.
Right.
And
it does have a floor.
Even if that's around 40, 45, 50% or whatever like that, it does have a floor. This can't be, this isn't Atlas. It's not 24%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think some of what I knew I didn't like about the movie, I'd absolutely need to rewatch because I just needed to experience them again fresh. I need to pick the scab on it. Like I said, some of this might come off as nitpicks, but it was really shocking how quickly they came to be a fresh wound again as I was experiencing them. One, I absolutely hate how Ridley Scott introduces characters, just like in general, like how characters are introduced in these scenes. The digital typing on screen, the noise it makes, the fact that we get characters so late in the runtime. I mean, really like tail end new additions. Donald Glover, great example of just like...
He's too late for you?
Way too late in the story. And just like every time it's that digital typing, it's so bad. So bad. We talked about already the upper leadership in NASA, just like that being the opposition to this story, that... why they don't tell the crew of the Artemis, or what exactly is going on budget-wise, or Jeff Daniels' whole position is, like, so cheap. Like, worst villain ever. This is, like, the weakest possible conflict I could ever cook up for a story. Like, so bad. It's just absolute padding, and then it really ties into the runtime. Like, if you want to talk about, like, where to cut, it's Jeff Daniels.
I know
entirely.
Listen, I don't love the character or the role. I do like the idea of hanging out with NASA chief and being part of the problem solving on this.
Yeah, but that comes in the other teams. I think Daniel is always like an unnecessary clamp on things.
He is, but that's also he's the head of NASA. Like I never really saw him as the bad guy. The bad guy is Mars.
Sure.
I mean,
but early on in the story, the conflict and the padding absolutely comes from Daniels exclusively. To the point that we don't even get another freak storm on Mars. You know what I mean?
No, I understand.
So make it all survival, not this institution bullshit.
You know what just popped in my head a little bit?
What?
Shin Godzilla.
Okay.
From 2016.
Sure.
You said it took a different approach to Godzilla, and you love that movie.
Yeah.
Because more so, it was the corporate suits. The angle of that film was the corporate suits trying to figure out how do we contain the city and how do we do this.
Yeah, it's the Japanese government freaking out about how to deal with Godzilla.
And if this was a serious film, that's where I would love the NASA aspect. The suits of NASA getting together.
Fair.
How do we contain this and how do we get this resolved?
Right.
But in the jokey aspect of it, of course Jeff Daniels can't be. I mean...
But then Shin Godzilla, there's never a guy saying like, oh, but we don't have the budget to deal with them. No, it's all about the conflict of Godzilla is an unstoppable god force,
right,
you know?
Okay. Well, for him, it's the larger government, I guess, it's his Godzilla.
Or the Chinese space program. Oh, man. And really, it comes down to the runtime. I feel like so much of the runtime of this, it comes off as frustrated. Like the plot is frustrated. It's never stopped or built up tension in a satisfying way. It's always just kind of like, we're going to get there, but you got to wait a little bit for it. Or we need to throw a little wrench in the works. It's just like none of this is, I find, to be compelling as far as the plot goes. All of this comes off as just like such an eye roll to me. And
yes,
it's just like, the whole film is an eye roll.
We should say, too.
The whole film is an eye roll to enter into orbit and slingshot around the Earth to get back to Watney.
The knives are out here, folks. I mean, this is like a loved movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
people do really like this. Yeah. I don't think it ever had the respect of an Interstellar.
No.
That being said, this movie is really I just can't get there with it.
Yeah, no.
And maybe I have to look at it more like an idiot, more like a popcorn movie. This is just a simple throw it on in the background. You're never going to get lost because it's completely going to be hand-fed to you anyway.
Yeah,
and it's basic. Well, maybe that's why it was so easy for me to turn it on here or there. There's no stakes. I'm going to pay attention to this film. Are you kidding me? By the way, the real villain, actually, more than I think of, is Jessica Chastain.
Stop.
With her horrible,
No, wrong.
horrible leadership skills in the very beginning of the movie, which sets the story off. It's like, the storm is here. Now's a good time to leave.
True. That is true. That is her fault.
Bitch, stay inside.
It is
Wait for
her
the storm
fault.
to roll over. Are you kidding me? It's just such an unbelievable. When I was watching it,
Well, then to your
I
point,
kinda
Michael
almost forgot
Pena
how it
started the
started.
engines.
I mean, the whole thing, I was just like, you're going outside now? What? Are you kidding me? Were they even tethered? I mean, it's supposed to be... forget it.
Well, let me end with some sweet.
Yeah.
Let me end with a little bit of sugar. I think, again, my appreciation, kind of where I'm coming at with this rewatch, is that there is some lightning in the bottle energy to Weir's idea for the story. You know, survival, castaway on Mars. You know what I mean? That, I feel like, is pretty electric as a premise. And I just feel like watching the film through that lens, I'm really about the same on my score, but I feel the pang. I feel like a sting of like, oh, what could have been? And I feel like that's where a lot of fans of Weir are with this. Maybe not all of them, because again, we're pretty against the grain on this one. This
Right,
is,
yeah.
This is, everyone else.
Although producer Matt D did say he is frustrated with it too.
Yeah. So there's just something there of just like, it almost... I want to like it more than ever now coming to it for this rewatch,
Yeah.
but I also am like finding myself in the same spot with it as far as recommendation goes. I feel like part of that energy, though, is around problem solving. Again, kind of always the best part of these survival stories. This grabs the best qualities of what we spoke about with Apollo 13, where you have both sides working together for solutions. And again, as far as stakes go in the story that grab your attention, it's crystal clear from the premise how insurmountable this will be for Watney. It's all in the execution of how those stakes are chipped away and kind of degraded over time. The movie is far from perfect, but I am walking away with a renewed interest in checking out Weir's core writing and hoping for a more faithful creative partners like our next film for whatever he gets adapted next. We're going to go ahead and give The Martian 2015. The old score was a 40. It remains a 40.
A 40% is very... wow. I forgot it was that low.
Yeah. It's pretty... There's almost too many problems.
It's almost a little hard. Even for me, it's a little harsh. But honestly, it isn't. The thing is,
I think I would expect you to be even lower. I just feel like you
No.
have much more beef with the film.
I watched it 4 times. I'll probably watch it a 5th. I will watch it, and I will watch it again in the future. I will. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not because I love the film. But
Hate watch.
It's an all right film that I guess I could handle once in a while.
Right.
That goes in these, mid 2010s ish, and the 20-teens sci-fi epics. Listen. 40%, okay. I mean, that just says it all right there. I don't think there's much more to add to it than that. Well, folks, let's go into our producer thanks segment here, because we do have some producers to thank for today. So it's great. We got our monthlies coming in. So we got Joel Villanueva coming in, as he always does, giving us $3.33. with the extra transfer fee on there. So, Joel, we thank you. We have Linda Schiller coming in, Vin, with your
Great.
monthly movie ticket.
Excellent.
So that's about $12 for you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate these.
The monthlies.
The monthlies.
Absolutely.
It's been a bit of dry lately. We hope that other people will produce here because, it is appreciated, but these guys are holding down the fort. We really thank you, Joel, for keeping on with your 333, Linda with your movie ticket, and then also co-executive producing, Nick the Rat donated in once again. So Nick donated $5.65.
Okay,
so that's probably $5 with transfer fees. Maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Which would be if it's 65 cents for $5 transfer. PayPal is appalling. Anyway, but Nick the Rat, he has donated before, and we thank you, man. He wrote in a very small note. So, marathoning your podcast up to March 2022. He goes, this is the most consistent podcast ever. When Tom says he hates Ruffalo, I have to donate.
That's the rule.
Going to watch some movies Vin loved. First up, 1961, West Side Story, and then The Kane Mutiny.
That's so great. That's awesome that he's at that point that some of the memes of the podcast are being kind of bored.
Is he going in order, or is he going back? Joel is the one going backwards, correct?
No, and I think Nick the Rat is. Nick the Rat, you reached out on Twitter or X, saying that you were going backwards.
To me, that's super dangerous. because the show
he's enjoying it.
It's going to get worse. There's, I mean,
No, I think he's going to get better. He's starting from the beginning and working his
that's
way
right.
up.
Oh, yes. Nick is started from the beginning.
Yes.
Joel is working backwards.
Oh, working backwards. Okay.
That's
Well,
that's what I'm saying. If the monthlies dry up,
Nick the Rat's surviving.
guys, everybody, the three of you, thank you so much. We were dry for 3 weeks, and then we have 3 donors coming in. To you producers, we thank you so much. Linda, executive producer of episode 231. Joel, Nick, co-executive producers of 231. So also Nick has his own show, Nick the Rat Radio, live from every Wednesday night. And I got to tell you, Vin, I was going through a very busy schedule.
Okay.
I had first job I had to go to, then I had to go to my second job and paint, and I was late, yada, yada. Ran out of my normal podcast I had to listen to. Tell you, jump into the sewer for a few hours, hang out with Nick the Rat Radio. Nick, it was a good time, brother.
That's great.
I've been a little bit man overboard, but I wanted to catch up on some episodes and catch yours this week as well. But thanks for the value. I sent him a donation because, hey, keep me some company and keep me entertained when it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm painting a house by myself. Nick, thank you, man. Love you. And Joel, as always, Linda, you continue to produce, and it means the world to us.
Yep.
Folks out there, if you're listening, if you're new to the Daily Ratings, this is how we do things. We're value for value based here. We are listener supported. We are producer supported. You're not going to see any advertising, or we're not going to take a bunch of ad breaks constantly on the podcast. We're also not payment tier structure or a paywall kind of setup where you need to give us money to get a certain amount of access to our content or to get bonus material. We don't really believe in that all too much because everybody's on their own finances. Everybody's week to week is different, and everybody might be getting a little bit different value from everybody else. That's why we're doing it value for value. So basically, you go to thedailyratings.com, go to the donations page, and everything is laid out there for you. So there's some set donations, like buy Vin a movie ticket. There is the Gump Club if you want, become a Godfather. But there's the big value for value button there. So you click that. And if you would like to support us and support the show, support the website if you're using it, listening every week, or just having a good time, stopping in once in a while, if that's value to you, we look at that as value in your pocket. Can you send us value back in our pocket? So that's what we mean by we're listener supported, and it's value for value. So you can peg whatever number you want. If it's worth a cup of coffee, if, hey, you're having a good week and you just won the lottery, well then, hey, $500, $5,000, if that's not that much money to you, you can send that too. It's value for value.
Always shooting so high on this.
I don't know. We might. I'm hoping one day a billionaire listens or something like that. I mean, whatever. I gotta say
a sugar daddy for the show.
But that's how we're doing it. I mean, we are supported by the Daily Ratings family. Those of you who listen, who go onto the site. I also like doing value for value for our show specifically because people might really like our take, but they might not be into movies that. They might not be into movies a whole lot, but there's always 2 or 3 a year that come out, and they love to hear and hang out with us and hear our opinion. Okay, so maybe that's $5. Maybe that's $5 a year. But if you're listening every week and you're loving it and you're into movies more now than what you were before, we look at that might be a little bit valuable. Did you have a laugh here? Did you cry? Did you cry from laughter? What does that mean to you, basically? So again, head to thedailyratings.com, go to the donations page, and show us what value you're getting. It does go a lot for Vin and I. This is a lot of hours per week, week after week. And we do have some up costs here, yearly and monthly costs. So it really does go somewhere. It means the world. Also, when you become a producer, write in a producer note. If you have anything you want to say, anything you have to ask, now's the time to do it. And this is the producer segment where we'll also read it. So if you have questions, comments, critiques, say anything, ask anything, you can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email. And hit us up there. We'll address it here on the podcast. If you want to be anonymous, just say, hey, can you keep me anonymous, and we won't use your name. To Joel, to Nick the Rat, to Linda, we thank you so much, you beautiful producers. And if you want to be an executive producer for next week's episode 232, head on over to thedailyratings.com. Actually, if you do produce, this is going to be for episode 233, probably, because next week we might have a special. We just want to put together maybe some Oscar films and bundle everything up so everybody can get a feel for what we felt about those Oscar-winning films that just came out the other week. So anyway, Head to the dailyratings.com, go to the donations tab. All right, Vin, let's get into theater. Project Hail Mary. We did not get to go see this together, but I definitely want to go see it. I know I really want to go see it in Dolby as well. Big screen, big sound. Yep. So that was well worth it. And this is a movie theater movie for sure.
Yeah, crowd pleaser for sure.
I'm dying to hear what you thought. I'm
dying to hear what you thought. Yeah. Like I said before the mics turned on, almost the entire movie, I was like, is this going to work for Tom?
It's a big question mark.
Yeah.
I had to think about it. I was thinking about it during it, thinking about it now. I was doing research into the film, watching behind-the-scenes footage.
Oh, okay.
I dove into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary, set it up, tell us about it. We'll take it back and forth.
Well, this is the first time on the podcast that we're covering a movie from the electric director duo known as Lord and Miller. Philip Lord and Christopher Miller are both a multi-focused talent, having some of their most successful projects coming from their writing or either producing career. But for the first movie they've directed since 2014, I was a bit unsure what we would get, no less being the second big adaptation for Andy Weir as an author. I'm happy to say I think Project Hail Mary was a really good movie. I think it found its stride in the softer, sillier moments that previously were a stumble for our last movie. And kind of, just didn't mix at all. But the big talk around this movie online is pretty misleading, in my opinion.
Okay.
Mainly anyone comparing this to sci-fi epics like 2014's Interstellar or even the must-watch itself, 2001: A Space Odyssey, is really misguided. I don't think that's not how this movie operates on at all. On the surface, sure, I get it, big space movie.
Right.
But I think making comparisons like this completely misses what works so well here, and that is like a Pixar-like wonder that has rarely been achieved in live action, and somehow Lord and Miller have been able to achieve that to some degree. I think some parts of Weir's DNA is lost in that. I feel like I'd be curious to talk to people that have read Project Hail Mary, because I feel like so much of this is more of a Lord and Miller project than an Andy Weir project. Yeah, I mean, like, to compare this to Interstellar is totally off base just because they're both space epics. This is a space epic, but again, has a Pixar whimsy in live action that I feel like is much more key to, like, if you're going to like the movie or not. You know what I mean?
I think that's important just to say because it helps set the stage a little bit. I will say, here's what I have, and maybe walking into it, you see if you agree with me or not.
Okay.
And it kind of, again, helps set things a little bit to what to expect. I have it if the movie Sunshine, Interstellar, Moon, and The Martian had a baby.
Oh.
I think if you combine those four films, there's a lot there that's in here.
Interesting.
Because there is a little bit of everything. It's still got the jokiness, but it's more serious than Martian. Mm-hmm. You kind of have a playful friend, and you have guy trying to figure out.
I think that's the only thing. The playful friend is missing from that formula.
Yeah, but even that, you have like Gertie in Moon. You also have that robot in Interstellar that has a comedic sense.
When was the last time you watched Interstellar?
It's got the rinse, but
it's not. I mean, it's slightly comedic.
Yeah, but the fact is, I don't know. But the point is. You're right, where I think it's bad to say this is like this is exactly like this. I do think it's an amalgamation of a lot of these different sci-fi things together. Sure. 2001, though, no, I don't touch that.
Well, and I just like the objects of like the story, take the sci-fi out of it, what the story is gearing towards like genre-wise is just like totally off base.
And you even just mentioning that Pixar aspect to it, I think is really good.
It's whimsical. If there's one adjective for this, it's whimsical. And
you're right. It really does have those same feelings that get evoked watching a Pixar film.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little bit more adult, but overall.
But wants tears occasionally, wants laughs.
Heart.
Wants
just
cute.
heart.
Yeah, heart. Yeah. Absolutely. So, in Project Hail Mary, we are given a doomsday scientific scenario as the backdrop to our story, which is broken and jumbled up out of order presented in the film. Several years ago, we discovered a space anomaly called the Petrova line, an infrared light-eating bacteria that stretches from our sun to Venus and mysteriously depleting our star of resources. All of this is explained in a very cute classroom scene that I thought was perfect. I think there is a perfect scene in this movie, and it is this scene that we are given the debrief. I loved the scene so much.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This was just so cute. And the concept of dumbing it down so anyone can understand it to the point of kids, how it's done, the energy of the scene, I mean, like, really was in love with that. While our star is given a grim life expectancy of 30 years, this anomaly seems to be spreading like a virus all over the galaxy. What is dubbed the astrophage becomes a new predator for all living organisms to deal with. This brings in Dr. Ryland Grace, played by Ryan Gosling, a humble school scientist teacher that writes a paper on astrobiology and is suddenly pulled into the mobilization of the world's efforts to stop this, aka Project Hail Mary. Dr. Grace's unlikely inclusion just might be the key, however, as his teaching experience allows him to connect with a new form of life searching for the same answers. His new scientific colleague, Rocky, is much more than first contact, though, as quickly they become genuine friends. I would say, believe it or not, this was probably the hardest movie to score in a while.
I believe it.
Yeah, there's a good probably 20-point gap between where my thoughts are kind of landing with this. On one hand, you have the understanding of what the goals are of this movie by what is the majority of the runtime. What the meat of the film is. Without a doubt, in my mind, that meat of the film are these cutesy, whimsical, Disney-like moments between Gosling and Rocky that I think 100% sticks the landing and is sold by our director duo's strengths. I think those strengths come from animation, their skills are, or their experience in animation. And I can't stress how much that this is the focal point of the story, again, where these comparisons to other sci-fis feel like totally off base. You know, I mean, there's nothing there in the relationship of Rocky and Grace that I can point to anything. I mean, I'd point to a Disney movie. I'd point to, like, animated movies.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't point to any of these other sci-fi epics that people are throwing around in comparisons.
No, it's Castaway. It's Tom Hanks and Wilson, the volleyball.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I think we're going to have to cover Castaway, honestly. My interest has been piqued.
You don't even know how we are covering it. No, not birthday film.
Oh, okay.
No, but I mean, like, we're not going to cover it for a long time. But that's because we need to do it. I cannot wait for Castaway when we do it. But I've already.
I thought you were spoiling a birthday.
No,
film.
I've already decided. We're covering Castaway years from now.
Years from now.
We got to keep the people coming back. We got to keep them engaged.
That's right. That's a good hook. That's a good T. Hanks hook. So I think that's, like, again, where the duo's our director duo's strengths lie, where a majority of the runtime and, like, what the primary feeling and tone of the film is. It's this optimistic, whimsical space Disney epic. On the other hand, for as hardcore science as this story tries to be, I can't help but feel like the big space scenes that matter are often brushed past quickly, and using that same science as kind of like a hand wave. A great early example of this, we talked off mic about a late example in the film, but a good early example of this is the first astrophage experiment scene where the editing of Gosling experimenting, doing science is so breezy and such a joke that it's like, I'd rather them just, like, have the answers for me. It felt just like so, like, nothing. And across the film, I feel like there's a de-emphasis, there's a watering down, there's the pin, of what Weir is known for, of this, like, hard science sci-fi. It's there in the DNA of the film, but the moments that it really, really matters to the plot, to the story, to our characters, it's always a hand wave. It's just like, and we're doing science to do this now.
So they did, like, a lot of test screens of this film.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the big things they probably test screen, and I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to dumb things down. And I'm not saying we're smarter than a broader audience. We like getting locked down with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Me just naturally being a stats guy and liking to get into detail on things. You and I would just naturally like to go into that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this was severely cut down and continued to be more and more watered down, and it doesn't surprise me seeing how many people, like, The Martian, which is super dumbed down, which is even more dumbed down than this, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting.
In a lot of ways.
Interesting. I don't know where I would land with that, but I get what you're saying. Now, dumbed down in different ways.
And it doesn't matter what that original cut was. They cut it 12 times. It doesn't matter because this is the product.
Right.
But you're right, and it's hard not to get a little frustrated with that.
Yeah.
But there's an overarching, and I'll still let you roll, but there's still, no matter what, an overarching thing with Weir and then Goddard writing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still jokey, it's still funny, and it's still trying to be a good time in very, very serious moments. So, of course we're watering things down.
Sure.
I mean, he's literally explaining the plot, or he's explaining the problem that drives the story to children. And we're the children. And it's like...
I do think that scene's good, though, for that exact reason.
I'm glad you liked it. You don't need to be that insulting. Okay? It is rated PG-13 still. It's not rated PG.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's not exactly family-friendly. There's some dark moments in this, of course, too. So...
Yeah, it's a frustrating... And I'll talk more on that. But, yeah.
But I think, you could easily argue that these science scenes aren't the focus because we are racing to more scenes with Rocky. And I would agree to a certain degree. Even much later in the story, big plot points are just breezed past with this hand wave of science. Again, I mean, I can't talk about it for spoiler reasons, but there is a very late example of this that I feel is so quickly breezed past that it almost collapses any hard science focus. It's one of the most astronomical feats ever accomplished in a sci-fi. And it's just and I'm doing this. So it's I don't know. Rather than presenting them with tension or stakes, it always seemed like we wanted a little bit of that hard science edge or hard science content or substance to Weir's writing. But really, it's about racing to Rocky. It's about racing to the whimsical of space. And I think that's where, again, this 20-point gap in where this could honestly land is all about that imbalance of this wanting to be taken seriously as a hard sci-fi and then clearly wanting and being a loosey-goosey, whimsical space adventure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to be that serious, down nitty-gritty details...
Right.
Sci-fi, then, why would you shoot yourself in the foot continuously? Because that's all they're doing. They're shooting themselves in the foot continuously.
Right.
Because that's what this guy likes to do, Andy Weir. And that's what, to your point, it's all about getting space. Let's see, is Rocky. The second half of the film, I found much stronger, personally, than the front half. I did not like Ryan Gosling trying to figure out things and seeing what's going on.
Oh, the space amnesia was a real big problem.
No, even before that.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about when he's on Earth and they're figuring out and they're doing test tubes and they put him in the lab. I didn't. A lot of it fell flat for me.
Yeah.
Because a lot
That's
of it.
the scene I'm referring to as well when it's the science hand wave. He gets in the lab, and it's okay, we're going to see what we can do.
Okay.
And he explains it like idiots, to your point, to the audience, to the viewing,
right.
to Sandra Huller and whatnot.
My problem was...
and then it's breezed past nothing.
And to be honest about it, I wasn't as much bothered by that, because in those scenes I was most bothered by the emotion not hitting whatsoever. You have people giving large reactions, and when you are glossing over things so fast, and when you are just a comedy, it just doesn't... It's again, how am I supposed to care about this? How am I supposed to feel anything close to what that guy is feeling on screen right now when you're giving me this?
Yep.
When we kind of do get halfway and things start to get maybe a little bit more serious, there's also something where I think I might have needed to jump in this pool a little bit and be in there before I realized, it's not Martian funny. It is its own humor.
Yes.
And it is Ryan Gosling, which is totally different than Matt Damon.
Sure, the delivery of it.
So it could have been that I just need a little bit more time getting my feet set with, what comedy are we doing here? How much is it actually?
Yep.
And it starts to level out, and you do get used to it. And like you said, things are sold. Even with Rocky, things are sold more than I would have thought.
Yeah, they stick the landing.
I was impressed by multiple ways of this film, and that's great. Still, though, because it's so jokey and because it's comedy, this movie can only be so high. This definitely has a ceiling for me, just like The Martian has a floor that I really can't hate it more than that. A movie like this, no matter what it is, can still only be as high. Still, though, these two, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and then with Ryan Gosling with carrying this on his shoulders, This might be the best version of this movie that could ever really come out.
That's what I'm saying. That's definitely my position of like, understand it what it is. It's not, de-emphasize the hard science. Understand that Philip Lord and Christopher Miller are basically making like a family space epic, or family-friendly space epic.
Yeah.
With a little bit of edge. I think that's where this movie works, and I think like the evidence of that is found in just like how much content and how central Rocky is to the story. I mean, like this is like the importance of Rocky as a character to the plot, how much time he gets, how much focus he gets, like thematically as well. That's where I am leaning towards the high end of that 20-point gap, because it's like there's no way that I can view this and say like, oh, it's not supposed to be a family fun adventure. They're dancing with each other, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. and I think, and listen, I know we both went in being, how much of the comedy is going to be, how much lighthearted it is going to be,
and where it's going to land.
Right. And basically what I just said, that took me a while to figure that out too, and try to work it out. And truly.
Yeah.
Impressed that they did it as good as they did.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is, still though, can only go so far.
I feel you there. I think much like Andy Weir's previous adaptation, The Martian, this still can be like very overly silly at times to its own detriment. Perhaps the most important point of this review, though, is that I think, again, we're on the same page that comedic directors help land jokes better. You know what I mean? There is a suiting, or there's a better match of talent for the adaptation. You put Ridley Scott in these type of joke setups, he doesn't know how to land them. Philip Lord and Christopher Miller, I think, know how to land that, whether that come from the animation space or just in general their writing is always very funny. And
I think another half of that then is Ryan Gosling too, who is so much better at dry humor and the quips, and you know what I mean, that half smirk, kind of smart ass type stuff.
I think that's the only area where we maybe differ a little bit. There were many moments that I wrote down. Is Ryan Gosling too silly for science? There was many moments that I said, like, why? He is the comedic punchline in every scene. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Especially in the serious rooms that he's in. He's the full punchline.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if, like, that was part of, again, the watering down of this hard science side of it.
I just think that's how the character was written. I think that's probably how it is in the book.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm having difficulty talking about the movie because the jokes did land better, or Phil or Lord and Miller did do a really good job. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, still, with what the material was, I do feel like Ryan Gosling was doing a good job. When you're saying, is he too jokey? Is he too jokey for science? The answer is yes. That's the thing. Right. Like, it's actually, it's bad and good.
True.
It's bad that this is the material, but good. Hey, you did what you could with this material.
Yep.
It's too much. Like, I will say, when he first 20 minutes, when we're really starting to get to know Ryan Gosling in the spaceship, I was starting to be like, I don't know if I'm going to like this film.
Yeah, I think there's a detriment to the story being jumbled up. I think, and this has been talked about online, that like this story would be much better if we just had it like straight through. But us jumping around a lot in the timeline of it, not for any like plot reason, but just like that's how the story is presented, takes away from some elements there. And I find myself agreeing with that.
I don't know if it took away from me.
Okay.
I think I needed a little bit of break sometimes.
Okay.
Because I just didn't, it would almost be like three separate movies.
Or at least
two separate
movies.
Tonally
as well, yeah.
And even with the amnesia thing, like you brought up, too, I almost like it, sure, flashbacks, but also memory coming back. I kind of took it as that, which I liked.
Yeah.
I do think they peppered things back and forth pretty good. I actually kind of liked it.
Okay.
Because I think I would get too bored if it was just linear.
I'm 100% with you as well. If like we're talking drastic tonal shifts from chapter to chapter as well.
Yeah.
Like if it's presented linear.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, to the point of like a total turnabout of like these are doomsday circumstances, and then we meet Rocky. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's two separate movies. I wouldn't bring it up if it didn't happen. I wrote down 3 times, is Gosling too silly for science?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that is Ryan Gosling in the role and not Matt Damon.
Yeah, true. Take that, Carl Sagan. I'm asking the real questions over here. Is Gosling too silly? Overall, I would say, though, it works much better because it's aiming to be cute and heartwarming rather than just simply cracking jokes, which our directors, again, are able to really shine with coming off of their animation experience. Setup, payoff, all of this is in the DNA of some visual storytelling. I feel like, again, it's a match of good talent with the adaptation. I also think composer Daniel Pemberton really key to landing some of this whimsical vibe. The use of wood blocks, the use of steel drums. I mean, this, I wouldn't say like I'm going back and listening to this a bunch, but like early contender for some good music, like winner of like some music awards for this film.
I listened to the soundtrack today, or a lot of it.
Okay.
And the soundtrack by itself, I actually wasn't a big fan of.
Okay.
But while I was watching the film, I was thinking, I don't know how memorable this is going to be. I mean, you think about 2001's Space Odyssey soundtrack, and there's things about Interstellar with that Hans Zimmer that like is really lasting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's quite as powerful as it, but I will say it did something slightly different in a sci-fi epic, and it was noticeable. It fit, and even though a song was just like, interesting, he's making this musical choice, he made it work. And he fit the music together like a puzzle pretty damn well. And his score worked, I think.
Yeah, I think that's where it's like it lands this whimsical vibe of like kind of out there choices instrumentation wise, and then as well just like much like a John Williams, E.T. or really anything Spielberg, of just like you take the soundtrack out, who knows where this scene actually lands with audiences. The soundtrack is really driving the tone of like, we want you to tear up here, we want you to laugh here, you want you to say aw there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like that's like, we don't get a soundtrack like that outside of John Williams very, very often.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to give credit to Pemberton on that, because I thought it was interesting. Again, not that...
Well, that's it right there, interesting.
Yeah. He's
he
using
did something
wood blocks
interesting.
and steel drums in a big movie soundtrack. It was like, what is this?
Well, what stood out to me sometimes, too, was when you had the classic, let's do the exterior shot.
Yep.
We're in space and we're looking at the ship, right?
Yes.
So there's no sound. So some directors will use sound. Other people, the classic thing is like, let's have classical music.
Yep.
Like, what is your music while you're showing the ship?
Right.
And he changes up the style once in a while, and it can be weird and interesting and works.
Yeah, it's quirky.
Props.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, again, early in the year for music choices, but I think definitely a front runner for just like how that was used and how that was like an active player, and again, how this is all landing its comedic tone. So beyond that, though, there's not too much we can talk about, or that I personally want to talk about without spoilers. I feel like we've already kind of really danced a little closer to the spoilers on both of these.
Watch the trailer.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the trailer gives away way too much. I would love to recut this trailer.
Yeah, true. That's a good question. Do you think, I mean, we've already talked about it as far as like the summary and a lot about how Rocky is used in the film. Do you think Rocky is something that should be hid from the audience?
He is a huge part of the story.
Yeah.
You see him relatively quickly. I would hide it completely.
You want the surprise.
I also, and I understand you need to set the tone of just like, know that you're walking into a bit of a comedy movie.
Yep.
There's plenty of Ryan Gosling that you can show. Get it and get a sense of exactly the tone of the film.
That's a good point.
I would have been the best surprise. I don't know why they needed Rocky, and it was.
And to the point that Rocky is the mascot of the film.
Exactly,
and as in probably intended.
Should have kept it a secret completely.
Yeah. Well, I think it is my chance to throw this idea out there. I'm really looking for a cage match between Rocky and Grogu at the Kids' Choice Awards.
Oh, that's good. It's gonna be Grogu.
Yeah, he's got the
This is just slightly too adult, too.
yeah, it's right. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to make it to Kids' Choice Awards. But yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of little things that we can talk about, but...
Well, I have a section of... I want to give a lot of praise.
Okay.
If I can.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, puppets rock. Puppets are awesome. This is great. Ryan Gosling wasn't directing, he wasn't acting alongside a tennis ball. They got the actual props of Rocky and they used puppeteers.
Yep.
Puppets and puppeteers are awesome, and they just bleed them out of the screen digitally and everything like that. Huge props to the two directors, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, because basically everything is practical. They built the actual set, life-size set. and they're dealing with 3 different types of gravity throughout the movie, and you see it at multiple different stages, and the spaceship is spinning at some parts, so the spaceship has to work on a 360 angle.
Yeah, the design of the Hail Mary is awesome.
Fantastic.
Like, I would love to build a model of that. And it's so cool.
And it doesn't have that alien-type sci-fi look where it looks futuristic but really worn and grummy.
The used future.
It doesn't look future where everything's clean and glossy. It looks very present-day futuristic. I really appreciated that. There was a lot of working things and working panels throughout the actual thing. The chairs, the way they move, really tight in some areas. But the spaceship, you felt the size of it, both with how many different areas he could be in, and also you felt the size of it in the small sense where you could almost put both hands out and touch either side of the wall. That was done extremely well. I mean, the director said that there was barely any green screens used, like as little as possible, and then the puppets of Rocky. It's just like... it just looks really, really good.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Absolutely.
And it also looks good camera-wise because my number 1 cinematographer is on this film. Yeah. Ooh. Greg Fraser.
Oh.
Or Craig Fraser, sorry. No, Greg Fraser, yeah. Greg Fraser, who did Dunes. I was really looking. This was the biggest reason why I was excited to go see this film.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, because I was actively looking and, you know what I mean, trying to figure it out, sometimes I'm like, this kind of looks like a normal movie. Some of the shots obviously are very beautiful. They did very cool thing with some lighting, which is, of course, it's like coming off Dune. And he said this was the most difficult project he ever worked on, even though he's worked on 2 Dunes.
Cool.
He did some crazy stuff with some lighting. And then also he had a blast, it sounded like, because he was in a real life-size model of this ship.
Yeah.
And it was super confined. And he was just, a lot of the times, he would show up that day and be like, I think this is how I want to film it. It was of the day decisions.
That's cool.
I found a cool angle. I found a new way how to do this. And I think it looks quite good, this film.
Yeah,
so it sounds good. It feels good. And the practical effects rule. And I really want to give props where props are due.
Yeah. And definitely like a lot of glamour shots of just like big moments in the film that like have payoff, even if like you're not picking up on like some of the tightness of the Hail Mary or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as like the Hail Mary goes, like as far as like a spaceship,
detail that Ridley Scott was missing.
He was missing, and I think to the Martian, not to further shit on the Martian, but like even the rover, they reused that same shot of the rover driving up like multiple times. It's the same trajectory of it, and it's like this. I mean, if you are into spaceships, like this was an awesome movie, really great. But yeah, I guess real quick, my only slight, hate to say it, could have done without Sandra Huller.
Okay, that's the one.
Hate to say it.
That's the one thing I had left.
Yeah.
I really like Sandra Huller.
Yes.
You like Sandra Huller.
Yes.
She's not bad. She just doesn't, I don't think, fit in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think this...
Even as like the straight man or the straight woman to the comedy, the very jokey comedy, it's just like, this is a classic case of like a European actress or actor coming over to a U.S. film and just like it not sticking. Something's not connecting.
And it's not sticking. And it's because of the tone.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I do like the movie, but I like it as much as I can. Because of the comedy. If this was a serious movie, this might be in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yep.
And if it was that serious movie, put Sandra Huller in it. Don't put Sandra Huller in this version.
Yeah.
Like Sandra Huller is great. She could be Michael Caine's character in Interstellar.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. But when you have comedy Interstellar, it's just she's too serious. There's something where she's just too.
She's too German. She's way too German.
And then you have goofball Ryan Gosling,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if this is working at all.
Exactly. And I get the setup is like she's supposed to be serious. He's as goofy as possible. Opposite end of the spectrum.
Right.
But like
the movie is.
Yeah. Oh no. I really could have done without her.
I really like her though.
Yeah.
I'm glad she got a good paycheck. That's great. Like, she's in a blockbuster. The fact that Sandra Huller's in like this big blockbuster is cool to me.
It's big, but cut her. It really was that. Another one comes to mind. The main actor, not the actress, and girl in the Dragon Tattoo, he goes on to be the villain in one of the Mission Impossibles. I want to say Ghost Protocol.
Oh, okay.
And just a similar case of just like the Europeanness, it's not transferring nicely. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's not,
yeah.
you either need to go into more like character-driven stuff, like you're like a villain or something like that, character acting. But here is just like...
Could you see her as in the Michael Caine position at Interstellar?
I like that comparison. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched Interstellar, but...
Because that's serious on serious.
Yes,
This
exactly.
is serious on... It's
Yeah.
It's two magnets trying to...
Actually, now to think of it, I think that's an excellent comparison because there's a similar tortured aspect to it, both characters. And I think Haller has that in here, but it's just completely lost in the wacky goofiness of Ryan Gosling.
Right.
So.
Right. And that's why... I mean, right. You don't want to see Sandra Huller in Jeff Daniels' position at The Martian.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully we've danced around spoilers in a good way, in a bad way, I don't know. But I think most importantly is I did want to just like set expectations of what this movie actually was, because I've been, again, very frustrated with the dialogue around this of like, almost question of just like, did you watch the movie or did you go in with like your own expectations of like what you wanted your talking points to be?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're looking for Pixar meets Arrival in some degree, then I think you have a great excuse to go check it out in theaters. We're going to go ahead and give Project Hail Mary a 74.
Okay, a 74. That's a great score.
Yeah.
That's a great score. This movie can only be so good.
Sure. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I think your ceiling is kind of. I'm feeling that as well.
I'm telling you, if this was a serious film, it might be top 10 for me.
Yeah.
It really, two shoes, two laces. It has the potential. Because I got to see, because they brought Rocky to life and they're selling a lot of aspects of this film, just tweak it a little bit. And boy, you really got a winner on your hands.
Right.
It's a good movie, and you should go see it in a theater. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes. It's long.
Yep.
But go see it in the biggest screen that's near you with the best sound. This is one of those films that can reward you in a lot of ways. So go enjoy it, and you can kind of bring a relatively young kid to it.
Yeah, I guess that's the real big question of just like, you brought it up, the PG-13 aspect. I'm trying to kind of clock the movie back in my head. There are just some dark moments, of course. The whole doomsday scenario in general. But I don't know. I just think like so much of this with Rocky, that magic is going to work. Almost like a Legend of Ochi, where they're not going to hold your hand. They're not going to hold back, the punch for the kids in the audience. But yet it's still a kid film.
And another movie that we love, The Puppets.
Oh, so true.
Puppets rule, dude.
Jim Henson over
there.
I
am so in
Jim
2026 puppets. We got it. They figured it out.
Right, they look good. They're not held back by
fantastic.
limitations.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right, Vin. Thank you so much. Anything you want to touch on, highlight next week? What's up?
Cage
Roll
match
credits.
Between Grogu and Rocky.
Okay.
I want. What was that old MTV show where it's like Celebrity Deathmatch or whatever? Like, I want Grogu and Rocky going at it.
Okay, yeah.
Puppets still.
He is a puppet, isn't he? Grogu
Yeah,
is a
that's
puppet.
what I'm saying.
Puppets rule, man. Take notes, everybody. By the way, the gravity looked okay in this film. It's halfway in between Martian and Apollo 13.
I'm telling you, you are the new subject matter expert on gravity in film, because
I'll take that.
I'm not even joking. Like, I really don't even like pick it up too much. I think I just watch a lot of space stuff, so it's just all like generally okay, you know?
Okay, that's true. Yeah. I was actively looking at it, that's for sure. Okay, Vin, thank you so much for watching these. Thanks for stopping by here this evening. Folks at home, will run it down one more time. We've got Apollo 13 with a 55%, Contact with a 67%, The Martian with a 40%, and Project Hail Mary with a 74%. Folks, as always, week after week, it's a blast hanging out with you. Thank you so much for our 3 producers this week. I'll be back on Tuesday for the new show. And next Thursday, we're going to do the Oscar Roundup. So everybody enjoy the show. We'll see you next week on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com, and while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.